And hello, how you guys doing? And somebody, I guess, is wondering if I'm going to perform in a Bruce Lee movie, me being a character of portraying Bruce Lee in a future film. I'm not sure. There's a lot of other characters in biographical history of some artists that have known me since I was little, and entertainers that have known me that some of them wanted me to act as a character in a biographical film of theirs in reference to Hollywood history. There's some people that wanted me to possibly do that. But in reference to Bruce Lee, there's all kinds of interesting stories about Bruce Lee. Like, some people think that Bruce Lee was just a young boy dressed up as an older man, is what some people think. Some people think that, that he might have been a young kid and he was just, a person performing you know, in martial arts films. There's all kinds of interesting stories that are wonderful stories in reference to Hollywood history. And, stuntmen and Steve McQueen and people being in stunts and movies and driving cars. Like, some people wanted to know if I was the one of the stunt car drivers in some movies. Whether it was driving slow or driving when I was a kid and when my father's productions or something. Some people wonder that, in reference to, or some people wanted to know if I was one of the race car drivers or the car driver in any Fast and the Furious movies, or some people wonder these things, in reference to situations of, just movies or action films or stuntman work. You'll have to ask somebody in the stuntman industry or the stuntman office or productions or something. But, in reference to whether I'm going to perform as Bruce Lee in a fictional biographical movie, like in reference to fictional or biographical movies. And somebody communicated about Jack Nicholson, how you doing? Some people wanted to know if I was going to perform as, certain characters, in biographical movies. Like, there's so many artists that, people try to communicate whether I'm going to perform as certain actors or entertainers or musical artists and biographies, because a lot of these celebrities have known me since I was a little boy. And a lot of them, like, even, in reference to musical groups, I can't say that particular musical group because that Satellite Man is trying to steal all the revenues from any musical groups that I've been in. Like, they try to steal my revenues or something. Like, somebody even might want to know, what R&B or what rock and roll songs I've sang, or, some of the other rock and roll bands and music. Some of them know that I've sang music and rock and roll and 80s music and love ballads and different types of songs. Some people wanted to know. This is, some of the things are, people have to ask around in the music industry, or they have to ask in Hollywood, like in reference to some of the songs from Dirty Dancing. Somebody wanted to know if I sang any of those songs, or people wanted to know if I sang any, or if I played any guitar and any music or drums, or people wanted to know if I sang any Guns N' Roses songs or Axl Rose songs, or people wanted to know if I sang any other types of songs like Prince, or R&B songs, like, or maybe like Aaron Neville songs, or different types of songs like rock and roll musical groups. And people have to ask. People need to acknowledge the information of history of things, in reference to Hollywood. People want to know, if I sang any rap songs or sang any love ballads or 80s songs, or that's why it's important in reference to my mother. in the songs my mother sang, and the different characters my mother sang as, in reference to Hollywood history, and my father too. Like someone might say, like Patsy Cline and a lot of country music people, they knew my parents, and a lot of other artists, rock and roll, AC/DC, they know who I am. They knew my parents. The group. Well, they knew my mother. It depends on, what was it, the 70s too, right? Some of them knew my dad too, I guess you'd say. And like NXS, and like some people was wondering, they were like, oh, they thought you were Michael Hutchins, or they thought you were this person, or they thought you were this rock and roller, and they thought you were Rizzo and Motley Crue, or back in the day, and then they thought you were all these other people that the government tried to murder off all the time, or some jealous celebrity man tried to murder you off to steal everything. Well, you think about it now. You think about all the police reports of these men and their activities of stalking me. Those are the people that are still trying to steal Hollywood. Those are the people holding me hostage now, too. So in reference to, AC/DC, Motley Crue, Richie Sambora, how you doing? Like somebody thought at one time, they thought I was the real Bon Jovi, and then they had to fill in with another Bon Jovi. You need to ask Richie Sambora. And hello, Sebastian Bach, and hello, other rock and rollers and music industry and blues music and House of Blues. How you guys doing? And Bill Murray or those guys. Not Bill Murray, but Belushi and other individuals. And hello, Bill Murray too. How you doing? But in reference to celebrities and entertainers that have known me, the particular, some people want to know how come I'm not in more martial arts films. And well, my teeth have to heal from these government people terrorizing me, and they're costing me millions of dollars, man. You know how many movies I would have been in? Like, this is, like, say if you took it on a year basis, there's a lot of entertainers and producers that know me from when I was a little boy. And it's kind of like the culture and education of history of the media, of entertainment media, and the history of music, or the history of singing and dancing or performing, and female musical artists, or duets, and 80s music, and R&B music, and rock and roll. Of course, I love rock and roll. Everybody knows that. I really love rock and roll. It's amazing. And a reference to other music, country music's pretty good too, and operatic music, and a lot of music and female singers too. Like some people want to know the song "Say Something," I'm giving up on you. Some people wanted to know. They thought, I guess, I don't know. Some people thought they thought it was me singing that song with Christina Aguilera. Does Christina Aguilera even know who I am? Does she even know who I am? That's like saying, does Britney Spears know who I am? Does anybody know who I am? Is what somebody would say. I don't know. Do they even know who you are? Do they even know who you are? Do they even know who you are? That's like there was rumors that people tried to think, or people was trying to say, now some of these artists that know me, some of them know a lot of characters I've sang as or performed as, and Boys to Men, how you guys doing? Much love to the music industry, and friendly acknowledgments, and R&B music, and rock and roll. Of course, rock and roll is always exciting for me. I love rock and roll, and musical history of things. I love doing lots of things. I love life. I love lots of things about friendliness, international relations. I love business in reference to lots of things, and Wall Street, and the history of things, and my parents. That this is why, in reference to people slandering my parents, people are going to have to go to court. I'm the owner of my mother and father's estates. And in reference to Hollywood, when I was a little boy, there's a lot of people that are in the entertainment industry. And hello, Fred Astaire, how you doing? You know, you're always amazing. And Gene Kelly and other individuals, Ginger Rogers. And, you know, it's like a Vogue song, isn't it? In reference to, you know, the history of the entertainment industry and other people like the Three Stooges and, you know, other individuals that have known me since I was little, and the Little Rascals, and the history of people knowing me when I was, you know, a little boy or when I was younger, and after I came out of a coma, because I was in TV shows when I was real little, and then I got injured, and I was in a coma for a long time. I didn't age at all, so, you know, that didn't count against my age, and I still get credit for all the TV shows and movies I was in before I had gotten injured, and I was in a coma for numerous years when I was a little boy, and they know exactly which people had trespassed on my father's property, and they know exactly the location and where they were at, or where these people trespassed on the property of my father's mansion.